Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
We are back with the Reliquary from Texas. That's right. We're here with the owner and Reiki master, Nick Furtis, joining us here today live to talk more about the services he provides. Based out of Rosenberg, Texas, but can help you worldwide. How are you today?
I'm doing great.
Pleasure to have you here. For first timers, obviously, we got to get to know our friend. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Essentially, I run a small metaphysics shop here in Houston, Texas, but I teach people all over the world, and I do a lot of distance readings, distance energy healings. I've been doing metaphysics since I was 15, so I've been practicing for about 20 years now. So,
Wow. Well, that's it. Before we get to all that you can help us with, it's always good to find out more about you. Where did you grow up? Where were you born and raised? And how did you discover this?
so I was born in Columbia, Maryland, and I only stayed there for the first few years of my life, but my parents had moved away from Houston during the energy bust back in the 80s. And so they were both without jobs. They were like, okay, we got to move away from our families. Let's just go wherever there's work. And so that's why they went over to Maryland. After a few years of being just by themselves, they're like, we can't do this. Go back to our families. Because family is a huge, like, it's a huge thing for me and it's a huge thing for my family. We have like over 100 people in our family. Like we each have like 5 kids. It's crazy, like huge
Wow.
families.
Wow. Wow.
Um, it's insane. But basically, I grew up in Houston, and I ended up coming to metaphysics sometime during. Well, I'd always been kind of afflicted by spiritual issues. So like I'd have like night terrors, I'd have sleep paralysis, I'd have a lot of scary
Oh,
dreams, and like it was really visceral and like very real to me. So um, my parents tried to get priests to help. They tried to get different blessings done, and none of it really helped. And so I just decided one day, you know what, I'm going to go and figure out what I need to do to get this done.
oh
I need
my
to get this taken care
goodness.
of on my own.
So tell me about some of the things that you were able to uncover and help yourself with.
Sure. So basically, I ended up learning a lot about metaphysics online. I
And
had
for those new timers, what is metaphysics? Could you just, yeah, give us some more details? Some people might say, I've heard that word, not really sure what it means.
Sure. So
Thanks.
metaphysics comes from the Greek word metaphysis, and it basically means beyond physics. So it's like beyond normal everyday material phenomenon. Metaphysics would be like energy work. It would be like readings. Some people call it psychic phenomenon. Other people call it magic. Whatever, term fits your paradigm. Basically, it's this practice of expanding your awareness outside of the material senses and creating that type of uh, experience for people using those
Awesome.
things.
Got it. Well, let me ask. I mean, so some of the types of things that it's helped you with personally, do you mind sharing that?
Sure. So it's actually helped me with a lot of. I had a very scattered mind when I was a kid, and it actually helped me focus. It helped me, meditation has helped me organize my thoughts. It's helped me to organize my mind. It's helped me to focus in on everyday lives, get past urges to procrastinate, bad habits that I've had. I picked up smoking at one point in my life, and I ended up meditating and finding a way to use metaphysics to break that habit. And so basically, I quit cold turkey. And every time I got an addiction
Oh, wow.
craving, I would sit down with myself, I'd center, deep breath, and do for like a 15-minute
Mm-hmm.
metaphysical exercise routine that I put together. It, there's there's a couple of them that I help people with basically like a lot of different things. But so basically, yeah, the I've helped myself through addiction. I've helped myself through having a scattered mind. I went to a very advanced college preparatory school, and the mental stress on being a teenager really started to break down like
Wow.
parts of my mind, but
Okay.
using meditation and using energy work and energy healing and Reiki, I was able to put myself back together, finish it out, go to college, all of that type of stuff. Literally, metaphysics is something that I used to enhance my normal, like, everyday life. So whether it's just like, oh, I can't get up on time, well, okay, I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to set an intention, light a
Yep.
candle. Basically, metaphysics is this wonderfully diverse and mutable subject that you can, once you learn the principles of, you can stretch and find a solution to any one of your mundane problems with.
Perfect. As you mentioned, find your inner balance with our healing crystals too. So you're a one-stop shop for healing and balance. Right now, there's a free
That's right.
shipping on $30 and more orders in the US, which is awesome. And the website we should establish for everyone. Just want to make sure they're aware. Let's also hold on. Let me pull that up. It's TheReliquaryTX.com. And are you on any social media pages as well?
Yes, we have Instagram and Facebook, and you can find us there at the same. It's the Reliquary TX.
Beautiful. And I want to bring up some of the services that you provide as well. And I know tarot reading seems to be first on the list. Could you tell us a little about what tarot readings even are and
Sure,
some of the things that we could benefit from it? And by the way, just like you and I here on Zoom, this is how you could do it, right? Or on the phone or in
that's
person.
exactly right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
About I'd say it breaks down to about a third, a third, a third. So,
Okay.
I've got a lot of people who aren't comfortable with doing Zoom yet, so they just call in and I run their credit card and then we do it over the phone. I've got some people who are younger and like really love the digital interaction and the fact that I can like show them the cards as I
Yep.
draw them. And so we do Zoom, and then for the people in the local area, they just come in and they just walk in. They're like, "Hey, I took my lunch break. I need a quick reading real quick." Like, but so tarot readings are okay. I'm gonna try not to get too technical because
Okay. Okay.
I've studied this stuff in like so my degree is in philosophy and metaphysics, and
Okay.
so I'm actually getting my doctorate in metaphysics right now.
Wow. Oh, by the way, wait, I got to ask your educational background. Where did you go to school for this and where are you continuing school?
Sure. So I went to college over at the University of Dallas. It's a Catholic college, and that was for philosophy. And then the Catholic tradition has a lot of basically, if you study any medieval metaphysics tome, you're going to be it's going to be written by a Catholic. So like they have all of the original Latin versions of all of these, and whether online at the library or on loan. And so I was able to like just go in there and read. And it did help that I learned Latin and
Awesome.
ancient Greek in high school. So like,
Oh my goodness. Wow.
yeah, I know about five dead languages. Oh,
Impressive. My goodness.
thanks,
Wow. Okay.
thanks.
This is, you could have a whole nother career too as a language teacher, but clearly you have a
Latin,
passion for this.
I do, but I love Latin. Latin is like one of my favorite languages at all to speak, to write, anything. But anyways, back to your question about tarot.
Yes.
So, what tarot is if you can imagine that everything, you, me, the sky, the ground, everything, like our microphones, everything is connected via a series of cause and effects. So whether we're wearing them, whether we're interacting with them, talking to them, sitting on them, whatever our connection is, we are directly tied to everything via like a giant spider web.
Yeah.
And so what tarot is essentially it's using the fact that you're interacting with the cards, and the cards have a series of different meanings and intentions and suits, sort of like a deck of playing cards. And basically, what they do is they tell answers to questions that you have. So whether that might be about like getting insight into a personal problem that you're experiencing, or it might be just asking like, well, what's going to happen to me in the next day
Yeah.
or week or whatever. And basically using the many old books that I've studied, I've and practicing with it, I can basically run my fingers like, a blind person might run over Braille. I run my senses over the connections between you and your environment and the
Wow.
cards, and I can see that way what's about to happen. And so I keep track of all of my tarot readings, and I encourage people to give me feedback about whether or not, hey, yeah, this did come true, or no, this didn't come true. And I have about a 97.3% running average based on my current Excel spreadsheet over the last 15 years.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's it's impressive. I like it.
Wow. I think I
Have
might need
you?
a tarot card reading. I'll contact you. Or we could do one live. Oh my gosh. That's
Absolutely.
impressive.
Thank you. I'm actually retained the Reliquary is. We're retained by several small businesses to help vet board members. I have NDAs, so basically I can't talk about, who those companies are. But
Yeah, of
if
course not.
if
But
they bring on a new board member and they're like, "Hey, we get the feeling something's squirrely. We don't quite understand. Can you find out what's going on?" And I'll draw and I'll be like, "Hmm, the Five of Swords, the Three of Swords.
wow.
What does that tell me?" Look into his degree. Maybe his degree is not actually where he says it is. And sure enough, they'll look on it and they'll be like, "You nailed it. Thank you. You saved us."
Amazing. Wow,
Yeah.
wow, wow. And
So
tell us
yeah,
some of the things business owners are using this for. I mean, what is to if I'm here with you, what are the base, what do you need to know from someone to do a card reading right off the top?
nothing.
Really?
Nothing. Yeah, you can a lot of people sit across from me and just say, I don't want to talk about the problem. I get too
Okay.
emotional. Just tell me what I need to know, and I'll just read them and read the
Okay.
card, and I'll tell them, hey, so this is about this issue in your life, and this is the advice that the cards have for you. I prefer obviously a question, but if people are too afraid or don't feel safe talking about what happened to them, I
Mm-hmm.
can work with that as well. But so people come to me about everything from simple as, hey, I think my girlfriend might not be into me anymore, or hey, I think my husband may have cheated on me,
Mm-hmm.
or to like, hey, I think my employees don't really want to work here anymore. Like, how can I raise morale? So the tarot is the most versatile divination method, and that's just a big word for telling the future. So tarot is the most like versatile medium that I have. It can literally help with any type of question.
Yeah. Amazing. So you could say, do you see me in a different job? Or what like job do you see me in? How's my relationships? All these things can be answered by a tarot.
That's
Ooh.
correct.
Ooh, and I love that you have the spreadsheet and you have all the statistics and probabilities of the truth behind it, how it's working. That's
Yes,
pretty fascinating. All right, so tarot card reading, is that probably your first, the most important one that you do, the most, should I say most
it
frequent?
is. It's the most
Okay.
frequent and it's the least investment heavy. It's $40 for 20 minutes. It's like,
Okay.
so as many questions as you have during that 20 minutes, my 20 minutes are yours. Most
Beautiful.
tarot most tarot readers charge like, oh, you get one question or you get like two questions. I'm like, no, I want to help people. That's what I'm here for. Like, uh, I feel like there's not enough genuine
Mm,
spiritual connection. Like,
out there. Yep.
yeah, because our forefathers and like the ancients thousands of years ago used to be so plugged into their environment and they used to be so connected and just they would, there's an ancient Roman and ancient Hebrew custom where if they were doing a business deal and like they saw like a dead animal next to them, they'd be like, actually, never mind. I'm going to pay attention to nature. It's telling me that this is not a good deal. That's a bad omen. We're taught to disregard those things. We're
Yeah.
taught to only like think with this narrow set of blinders on instead of just looking at the whole connections. So
Got it.
I'm trying to help people reconnect to their environment, reconnect to
Beautiful.
themselves and their intuitions.
Great. Well, we have only 15 minutes left in the show, so we're halfway through. I got to
Wow.
remind everyone how we can contact you. Could you share the website again, phone number, social media pages before we continue?
Sure, absolutely. So it's the Reliquary TX, and that's TheReliquaryTX.com. The Instagram is at the Reliquary TX. Our TikTok is the Reliquary TX, and our Facebook is the Reliquary TX as well.
Oh,
Um,
well,
the phone number for the business is 832-451 6335.
well, let's also talk about some of the other services you offer. There's a lot more. So curse removals, banishing services, money magic service. Where did you want to head to next?
Sure. So for curse removals, that's like for people who really feel they're already like in tune with themselves. Excuse me. And so basically, when they feel like there's an oppressive energy over them, when they feel like things are going wrong all in their life, and it has nothing to do with themselves. Like I had one person come in and he's like, "Look, I don't normally believe in this stuff, but I've been interviewing and interviewing and interviewing, and I haven't been able to get a job, even though I'm really good in my like I have 15 years of experience. What's going on?" And it turned out that he had been unfaithful in a previous relationship, and she had gone and put something on him so that he might learn a lesson from that. And so I had to break that curse so that, and as soon as I did the curse breaking, which is essentially, if you can imagine someone putting a lot of evil intent or ill will towards you
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
afflicting your energy field, basically I take that off of you, kind of like untangling you from a net. And I take it away, put it on something else, and then we burn it in our fire pit behind the what is it behind the shop afterward. And so basically, I've done curse removals in person, over the
Wow.
phone, long distance. Knock on wood here, but I've never met a curse I couldn't break. Um, Basically, once you learn how all the energies intertwine and work together, one curse is just the same as the next. It's just a matter of how intense. And some people go crazy. They go and pay people thousands of dollars to make to make people pay. Well, some people are just petty like that.
Wow. Well,
Um, but so it's not very common, but once it does happen, if you notice it in your life, because it is more common than most people think, it's just not as common, luckily, you know, as popular media would have us believe. But basically, if you feel that, you should come to me and you'll notice change. I call it the rule of three. Give it 3 or 6 days.
yeah.
9 at the most.
Wow. This now, what type of curses are people getting? People might say, well, what do you mean a curse? What type of people are sending curses? Curses exist. Could you just share some examples of them?
Sure. So there's a bad luck curse, which essentially skews anything. So if your natural luck is good, you go to casinos, you win, you play cards, you win. Um, it inverts your luck against you. There's also what's called the lover boy curse, and that's
Ooh,
basically if you are someone who doesn't like to commit or someone who engages in like a lot of different partners, and someone wants you just to themselves, then they start to basically
wow.
uh, affect all the different people you're with, whether it's family, whether it's like romantic partners, whether it's friends. It affects people around you, and so people start to like distance themselves from you, and it's really nasty.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
yeah, and so then there's the last one, which is in the old days it was called the famine curse. Now I kind of call it just the joblessness curse. And it's basically making you it basically takes away your financial energy and transfers it to them. And so it's like if you feel like you can't get a job, if you feel like suddenly
Yeah.
you're having troubles at work, bosses are suddenly treating you differently, coworkers are trying to get you fired, like that's the type of stuff you can expect from a financial curse.
Wow. All right. This is fascinating work you're doing. And just to remind everyone, we're here with our friend Nick Furness. He's talking about all the work he could do for you. We're talking tarot readings. We didn't even get to the astrology chart readings, but we could do those types of things too. There's exorcisms, spiritual consultations. There's also, you work with
So
energy all
just
the time as a, oh, go ahead.
I want to interject there. So the
Sure.
energy healing is something I can do distance or in person, and the energy
Yeah.
healing is I have people who come in here every week. I actually recommend it. It's only $40 as well. I recommend people get it every week or at least once a month because it's like refresh. It's connecting you to your environment, and it will change your life. It is literally like if you've ever gotten a monthly massage or like a monthly spa treatment, and you know how much that impacted your personal health. It's the same thing, but it's a lot cheaper. It's connecting you to nature and it's helping you to refresh the energy in yourself and in your area. So like your body will be healthier, your sleep will get better. It's it's amazing.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Well, that's a whole nother service you offer. And what other services you want to talk about for today? And we still have 9 minutes left in
So
the show. There's still so much more to you. The cleanses, the enchantment. So
yeah,
astrology. I'll let you take the
I
reins
love
here, please.
okay. So we can probably do maybe we can do another show on this, but I wanted to
Yeah, for
touch on
sure.
some of the heavier aspects of the work because I know there's a lot of people out there
Absolutely.
suffering. Um, if you feel like you're afflicted by a negative spirit, or if you feel like your house is haunted or things of that nature, I can treat that. I do home cleansings. I do exorcisms, as you said, and those are really heavy hitting. Those are like on the very expensive parts of what I do. But I think it was 3 years ago. It might have been 5 years ago. The head exorcist at the Catholic Church basically said, "We're not getting enough priests to help out with all the demonic incursions and without all the evil spirits that are running around, and the Pope's not giving us enough funding. So you guys can expect, unfortunately, more possessions. You can expect more negative entities. You can expect, and we're not going to be able to help you guys." And I actually took a several classes on demonology, but basically I'm able to deal with all of those negative entities, those feelings of being watched at night, those like if you know someone who maybe does some illegal activities, sometimes there are spirits that attach to those people and then they can off onto you. And
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot more people suffering from these type of large scale
Oh,
places that can
there
help.
we go.
And you don't have to live with that suffering. You don't have to, um, I don't know how to put it. You basically you don't have to suffer. It's not like the source or your ancestors want you to suffer. They don't. Like go seek help. Like uh, sorry.
That's
That
okay.
was
No, and then you froze for a second before, so go ahead.
but yeah, so my point is like whether it's something as small and as awesome as like enhancing your life through tarot or through energy healing,
Uh-huh.
then I'm here to help. But if you've got something terribly negative, like a curse or a negative entity that's plaguing your home or your family, I'm also here to help. So spiritual help is here. You don't have to suffer, and I'm ready to believe you. Basically, like I know that most people don't want to talk about this stuff, but I'm not ever gonna. I've seen so many strange things. I can't throw stones anymore. Like I don't disbelieve anyone. It's just like how crazy things are.
Yeah, for sure. This is a fascinating work. And also, can I just randomly question, do you also do house blessings or house cleansings, should I
I
say?
do. Hmm. Yes, I do.
I had a friend that moved into a house a few months ago and she had some issues and she hired someone to do that. And it was like,
Hmm.
she says, world difference. The energy was just so different in the house. And someone thought that, well, the lady confirmed that someone did pass in that house. So maybe that person
Hmm.
was kind of stuck in their energy there. So,
That's
oh my
exactly
goodness.
what happens.
Oh,
Yeah.
see? All right, good. See, I know a little bit about what you do.
Your intuition is spot on. Like I could definitely tell that you've worked on your chakras before.
Yeah, well, it's funny. We have seven main ones, but more than that, right?
That's
But I
right.
have some issues for sure, and I have some stomach pains and problem, and I've tried working on those chakras, and to no avail. But you just try to live your best.
Well,
Look, I'm a mom with 2 kids. I run rampant. I love what I do. I'm energetic, but never was able to get a full fix. But you are here to do that with your chakras, and you can help people, right, in all these different areas.
absolutely. So I have 3 kids, and my wife
How
stays at
long?
home.
Tell me.
So I have one. My oldest is 3. My second one is 1.5,
Ah.
and my newest one is 3 weeks old.
Oh, God bless. Amazing. Oh
Yeah,
my goodness. Mine are 7 and 9, 2 boys, and I just can't. It goes so fast. But that's the most amazing thing, the most hardest job in the world. Ah,
it is, and my wife gets to stay home and raise them all by herself. So like, while I'm at work, so,
it's a lot easier to work than to raise kids. I do both, and I said if I had to choose, I wish I could be that working mom. Like I work full time, but I also raise them full time. There's no man, so it's like
yeah.
I do it all. But I honestly say working is easier than raising the kids. God bless.
It is, and it's funny. You've got all boys. I've got all boys. That's really cool.
Oh my goodness! Wow. Well,
But
best of luck with that.
after,
Ah,
thank you. But like after she gave birth to each one of our kids, what they don't tell you, what a lot of because there's not very many spiritual doctors anymore. But what they don't tell you is that impacts every one of your chakras, and it sets it back because
really?
well, yeah. So as the woman is basically creating the new life, whole cloth,
Mm-hmm.
she's having to create those chakras herself. So
Wow.
you're literally responsible for the spiritual energy system of both of your kids. And so well, during pregnancy, you're supporting 2 people biologically and spiritually. So when you give birth, there's such a aftershock of energy that like it usually damages a lot of women's chakras, and they don't notice it until they get back into their yoga routine or until they get back into their meditations. But so I do, I've had been able to help her through that and to prescribe her, different yoga positions, different mudras, different mantras. So the mudras are the hand gestures, and the mantras are the what is it? The somatic commandment. Sorry, the somatic components, the
Oh my
spoken
goodness.
words. So
Wow.
yeah, so a lot of people chant while they do yoga. They do the ohms or they do the different resonant frequencies. And so basically, if you've had children, I always recommend that you get someone to look at your chakras to help you fix them to there's different teas you can drink, there's different herb baths you can take. Like it's a full thing.
Beautiful. All right. Well, we're just about out of time. You only have 2 minutes left. So how did you want to end up for? Oh my gosh. No, we have a minute left. We have
Oh
to
wow.
unfortunately wrap up. Could you share how we could reach you?
Absolutely. So you can there's a contact us form on the website, and that's at
Okay.
www.thereliquarytx.com. Or you can send us an email at thereliquary, the number two at gmail.com. Or you can shoot us an Instagram DM at the Reliquary TX, or you can give us a call at 832-451-6335.
Beautiful. Thanks so
Um,
much. Pleasure having you here. Looking forward to speaking again soon, Nick. Thank you.
thank you,
Bye-bye.
Jill. Bye.
Bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.